Early innocence, a child's perspective on food. We grow up surrounded by food. It's at birthday parties, holidays, and family dinners. As children, we don't question where it comes from. We see food on our plates, ready to enjoy. It's a simple equation. Hunger meets deliciousness. I never stopped to think about the animals. Meat was meat. It didn't seem different from the vegetables on my plate. My family followed traditions. We ate what we were served. Meat was a staple. It signified celebration and togetherness. No one questioned its presence. It was simply part of life. I remember the smell of roasting chicken filling our kitchen. My mouth would water in anticipation. Sundays meant pot roast. The aroma lingering long after the meal. Food was about comfort, family, and tradition. The thought of animal suffering never crossed my mind. Unveiling the truth, from misconceptions to understanding. Growing up, I had this idea of farms as idyllic places. I imagined animals roaming free, enjoying the sunshine. Cows grazed in open fields, chickens pecked at the ground, bathed in golden light. It was a peaceful image, far removed from the reality of factory farms. My perception began to shift in high school. I stumbled upon an article about factory farming. It was a stark contrast to the peaceful images I held. The article described cramped, inhumane conditions. Animals were treated as commodities, not living beings. It was a jarring realization. The food on my plate represented suffering I had never considered. The more I learned, the more disturbed I became. I began connecting the dots between my food choices and the lives of animals. Documentaries like Food, Inc. exposed the harsh truth. I saw the overcrowded cages, the lack of sunlight, the sheer terror in the animals' eyes. A moment of reckoning, witnessing the reality of factory farming. One summer, I visited a friend's farm. I expected to see sprawling fields and happy animals. Instead, I was met with a sight that forever changed me. Rows of windowless sheds stretched out before me. The air was thick with the stench of ammonia and despair. My friend, noticing my discomfort, took me closer to one of the sheds. Peering through a small opening, I was met with a scene of unimaginable cruelty. Hundreds of chickens were crammed together, their beaks clipped, their bodies covered in sores. The sheer scale of suffering was overwhelming. I could hear the animals' cries, their desperate attempts to escape their confinement. It was a stark reminder that my choices had consequences. The meat on my plate represented the suffering of these sentient beings. The seeds of change, a shift in perspective and plate. That day on the farm was a turning point. I could no longer ignore the truth behind my food choices. The images of suffering animals haunted me. My appetite waned. I found it difficult to enjoy meals, knowing the price paid for my consumption. I started making gradual changes. I cut back on my meat consumption. I explored vegetarian and vegan options. It wasn't easy at first. I had to relearn how to cook, how to navigate social situations. But with each change, I felt a sense of liberation. I was aligning my actions with my values. I was no longer contributing to a system that caused so much pain and suffering. My plate became a canvas for compassion. Compassion in every bite, a journey towards a kinder world. My journey to a more compassionate plate has been a gradual process. It's about progress, not perfection. It's about recognizing that animals are not commodities, but but individuals deserving of our respect and compassion. Every meal is an opportunity to choose kindness. It's a chance to vote for a food system that prioritizes the well-being of all creatures. We have the power to create a world where food is synonymous with compassion. It starts with awareness, with opening our hearts to the plight of animals. It's about making conscious choices that align with our values. Let's strive to make every bite a step towards a kinder, more just world.